you speak about having a solution mindset rather than a mindset of saying, like, I can't do this. And that a lot of the people that you've found that were very abundant had this kind of mindset. Can you talk to us a bit about that?
You can spot a victim a mile away because they're all about problems. Here's why I can't get promoted. Here's why I can't join the 5 a.m. club. Here's why this wouldn't work for me. Here's why I can't find love. Here's why I can't create my richest life. And if you recite your excuses long enough, you actually hypnotize and mesmerize yourself to believe they're true. People who are living their finest lives are not about excuses and they're not about problems. They're all about solutions. And I know that sounds really simple, but when I mentor the billionaires and the CEOs and the titans, every time the marketplace throws a problem, they always ask themselves, what's the secret gift here? Every time they have a personal problem, they say, I'll roll up my sleeves. There must be an even greater benefit in this difficulty. And they practice being a master of finding solutions so often, it just becomes their default. They lose their biggest client. They say, fine, one door closes, another opens. There must be something great here. They have a health problem. They say, okay, I'm going to find a solution. I'm going to biohack. I'm going to find the right doctor. I'm going to try maybe another type of medicine, alternative medicine, or a new habit. And I'm going to become even healthier than I was before I dealt with the challenge. And so, yeah, I think people who are truly successful and people who live great lives understand that a problem is nothing more than, what I'd say is every problem is actually possibility in wolf's clothing. And I've learned, and I'm almost 60, I've learned that life shows up for our fortune, not for our failure. And as we look back at every so-called problem, even every so-called tragedy, in the passage of time, we look back and we say, wow, I see how beautiful that was. And I see how helpful it was for me to get to where I now am, even though in the moment it looked like this huge problem.
I love that. And I think, like when we have faith, that if, again, we're doing that inner work, that we're always going to be guided in the right direction, then having those kind of solution mindsets, it becomes second nature. And I think one of the things as well that I've learned in my own life is, obviously they say worrying, is the thing that takes away any happiness in the present. But I think that it allows us to stop worrying about the what ifs or, things that we can't control in our life, and know that, there will always be a reason behind why something has happened. And like you said, it might seem like a hardship at that moment, but when we reflect back on our life, we'll realize that it moved us in a different direction, which ended up working for us, in the long run, which I think is, if we go in with that mindset, it makes a lot of these situations that can seem unnerving a lot easier.
I think the root of all fear and all worrying comes down to one thing, and all of us suffer from it. It's the background noise of death. I think at the deepest level, all of us have this background ambient noise coming from the fear of death. And if we can make peace, and I know it might sound a little dark, but if we can make peace with the fact that we're going to die, I think we'd really start to live. And we'd stop judging. I mean, why do we run from a tragedy and cling to a good time? It's because we are judging the problem, the divorce, the loss of a job or whatever. We're judging it as wrong. Now, a lot of people might say, Robin, you're not being practical. But I actually believe that the great spiritual masters, whether they're in the darkness of the valley or on the top of the mountain, they're still at peace. Because they are in the world, they're not of the world. And they've made peace with death. And they understand that death is, in the book before this new one, the Everyday Hero Manifesto, there was a chapter called "Death is just a hotel room upgrade." And that's personally what I believe. Like, life is great right now, but when we die, we go to a place with, even better coffee, a better place, et cetera. So why would we fear it? So I really think that if we're in a hard time, rather than running away from it, as our culture says, stay in the hard time. Make peace with the hard time. Learn the gifts of wisdom from the hard time. Learn how strong you are from the hard time. And this might sound so counterintuitive and weird, but stay in the hard time, because pain purifies us. Hard times introduce us to who we truly are. We learn very little from times in the sunshine. We learn so much about who we truly are when we're going through difficulty. I think happiness this might sound so strange, but I think happiness is overrated.